Hello, true believers. Welcome to the Anonymous channel. I am your host, Anonymous. And today, I got something very special in the mail. Ba-dow! That's right. Isom #1 from Rippaverse. Eric July has sent me a nice little treat. Now, a little backstory. I, myself, have not bought a comic book in several minutes. You know, late 90s, whatnot. But, you know how Image and Marvel and DC used to do ya. Crossovers and special covers and variant covers and price tags going sky high. You know how it is, especially when you're poor. You can't freaking afford it. So they priced me out of the comic book world. It's unfortunate, but it happens. So I've been hearing about Mr. Eric July. I watch his videos. I see him on the Blaze. Cool cat. And he's out there actually creating stuff and a true entrepreneur, I would say. He's making comic books great again, I would say that also. So, and he can, you know, poke the woke in the eye, you might say. I'm all for that. So I'm going to support the dude. And I might, you know, get back into comics again. I don't know if there's some, you know, decent ones out there. If this turns out to be pretty good, I'll buy #2. If I want more. So all I'm looking for out of this is a good story, good characters, good character arcs, you know, not woke. Is that too much to ask? I don't think so. So, without further ado, let's open the package. Ooh, oh. Ooh. Bring it on home. Let's put that down, shall we? Oh, yeah. Oh, ho, 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 ho. Oh, hey, wait, what? What? Wait, what? We got an Isom #1, cover A, but, oh, geez. I ordered Isom #1, cover A and cover B. I don't see cover B. Do you see cover? I don't see cover B. There's Eric July's scribbles. I see it. You know, that means he touched the book, but I'm not going to have a good day. I paid a pretty penny for cover B and cover A, but you know how it is. Well, great. So now I'm going to have to call, email, carrier pigeon, tech support at the Rippaverse, and see what's up. All right, okay. Not blaming, no blame, no blame. They're busy. They're working their butts off. Mistakes are bound to happen. Unfortunately, it happened to me, which is par for the course. I get crapped on everywhere. Go to the drive-through, and that's where they screw me over. So I'm plenty used to getting screwed over. But I believe Eric July is an honorable dude, so I think I'm going to get my book, and I just got to wait for it. Now, I am going to carefully read this one, because I ain't waiting for cover C. Oh yeah, I bought cover C. Did I tell you that? I bought cover C, all 3 covers, scribbled on by Eric July. I was going to read C, but man, I gotta wait. I was in a different order when cover C came out. You can argue it was like 3 weeks. I can't remember, but I ordered that in a separate order, so it'll be in here quite a bit later, so I'm not waiting on that. So I'm going to read this one. I'll be careful. Might even wear some gloves. I won't bend the pages. You know, other people have touched this, so don't worry. It'll be fine. I'll read it. I'll give you a review. I'll see if it's any good. I'll let you know. I won't spoil anything, so don't worry. And I'll tell you if it's any good and if it's worth buying issue number 2. I'll see you in a few minutes.
Several days later.
Now, my time in comic books started in 1990 and lasted throughout the decade. I've seen all the greats and some that weren't so great, but usually it didn't bother me as long as the characters and stories were good. I could deal. You had Jim Lee, McFarlane, Silvestri, Finch, and Romita Jr., just to name a few. Now, I'm not saying Cliff Richards is in the not-so-great category. Well, nor am I saying he's in the great category either. Cliff is a talented artist, and he has a firm grasp on anatomy, perspective, foreshortening, and dynamic panel layouts. All of these are excellent, but I do see a lack of detail in rendering. I myself favor that sort of thing. Some artists can go too far and make the art look far too messy and dirty, but on the other side of that coin, not enough can make the art look plain and uninteresting. Now, I think Cliff's talents push his art forward to the above average range. I think he's relying on the colors to make up for what's missing. And I think that's a trap artists can fall into when they're doing all digital art. You can even see the differences between the art inside the book and the cover art. The cover art is far more detailed and rendered. So I'm going to give the art an 8 or a B or whatever scale you want to use. I like his art, but me personally, I'd like to see some more detail. Now, the color sets the tone for any comic, and I can see an overarching theme to this book. Gabe uses a lot of blues in his work, from daytime skies to vehicles, walls and objects, to nighttime and indoor ambient lighting. Most everything has a blue hue to it, which gives me an odd, calm feeling with a hint of dread. Like deep diving in the ocean, with a slight suspicion that there's a creature lurking in the shadows. The coloring in this book is excellent. Gabe is an artist that knows light sources, drop shadows, and highlights, which helps make up for any shortcomings with the detail and rendering work previously mentioned. I'm not the biggest fan of digital art, but it's growing on me. As a guy who likes to draw, I sure can see the appeal of some of the features it brings to the table. But I'm still of the mind that nothing beats tangible art done in pencil and paper. I'm going to give the colors a solid 9, or an A- if you will. The story so far is pretty good. I found myself engaged and interested in the plot and how it was playing out. It did a decent job with the world building, although I think we could have gotten a bit more details about the supers or Excepts and Avery's life and what the ranch was all about. There was plenty of room, seeing how there were quite a few pages with little to no dialogue. I understand telling a story with just pictures and areas, but for me, I kinda wanted a little more. Don't get me wrong, I sure didn't want or need a giant expedition dump every other page. I like to find out and learn things as the story progresses. We were introduced to several of the characters with some good action scenes, but again, we didn't get a lot of them, which could be a good thing. I want to see more of Alpha Core and Yara. They were basically a tease in the first issue, and still not sure who's the good guy and who's the bad guy, or maybe an anti-hero. And that goes for Isom for that matter. His backstory is still somewhat of a mystery, with hints at a not-so-stellar past. We're still not sure of his power set and where and how all this came to be. So did Mr. July leave me wanting more? Absolutely. Did I want more in issue 1? For sure. But for his first issue ever, it met my expectations, and I'm definitely looking forward to the next issue. I'm going to go ahead and give the story another 8. Or B, or whatever. Now comes the hard part. The writing. Or the dialogue, to put a finer point on it. Don't confuse the writing with the story. The story is an amalgamation of theme, plot, characters, and events, whereas the writing is dialogue and conveying personality of the characters, things they say and how they say it, accents, cultural idiosyncrasies, I can talk, attitudes, feelings, etc., etc. For the most part, the dialogue was good. He was able to convey clearly who the characters were and their motivations. But I found some of it rushed, with some forced exposition. For instance, Avery's interaction with Darren went too fast. He went straight into talking about Avery's past and situations from high school. I think it came too quickly. It needed a bit more build-up, some more back and forth banter, if you will. Also, I felt a little more time with Jasmine outside the club was needed before they were interrupted. I felt they needed a little more push and pull to build tension. And a few times when I would be reading, I thought to myself, could this have been said in a better way? But this is his first go-around, and I believe he is only going to get better at this. For the writing, it's going to be a 7.5. He did a good job overall, but like I said, it felt rushed in places and some of the dialogue wasn't quite right to me. In closing, I'm going to give this book a solid 8, or whatever, just an 8. It's an excellent first start to the Rippaverse, and I look forward to what comes next. I haven't purchased the new comic book in a lot of years, and this was a perfect place to pick it back up. I totally recommend this series, and I believe it's only going to get better. So go buy it. What are you waiting for?